Hey guys, and welcome. We are the Strong and Chatty Chicks. We chat about women's health and fitness, and we aim to inspire and empower one chat at a time. I am Yvonne Alonso. I am a personal trainer of 17 years and a plant-based nutritionist.
And I'm Paula Headley. I have 20 years' experience as a medical scientist, and I'm a public health expert. And welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about training postpartum. So you have recently given birth. When can you go back to the gym?
This is something that, just like with training whilst you're pregnant, it's something that there's so many opinions.
A lot of very strong opinions, often not all that very well informed.
Exactly. There's not that much research backing up these claims.
Yeah.
So it can be very confusing, I can imagine.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that for a lot of people, there's a lot of pressure for them to do things very, very quickly. And for other people,
And
there's
to
pressure
bounce back.
Yeah, to bounce back, which is
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. You've just given birth.
You've created an entire human.
Yeah. And bounce. I hate the term bounce back. But I think for some women, they're pushed to bounce back really, really quickly. And I think other women are treated as if they should be wrapped in cotton wool and they shouldn't do anything at all. Mm-hmm. And I think for any individual woman, then their truth is probably somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah. Every experience is different.
Every experience is different. Every pregnancy is different. So
Absolutely.
Even if you've given birth before and you did bounce back and you were up and running within a couple of months or something, your second pregnancy might not go that way and you might need more time to recover. Yeah, if you kind of consider what has actually happened to your body, not just in the process of growing the baby, which is in itself, there's a lot going on there, but in having to birth that child, that's an enormous, enormous trauma to your body. If you've given birth vaginally, that's a lot. If you've given birth by cesarean section, you've had a major surgery. The idea that you should be recovered within a very small period of time or within a set period of time, that has to be taken a little bit with a pinch of salt, because you are recovering from your trauma and another woman will be recovering from a subtly different birth trauma.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, one thing is the physical, but your reality has changed as well.
Yeah.
You're suddenly a mom, right? If it's your first child, or you're a mom with other small children.
You're a mom of two
or three. Yeah. So your reality is different. Your time is different. And there's no reason to feel any guilt to have to bounce back.
We should just stop that whole term. The whole idea of bouncing back should just be banished from our discussions around pregnancy and motherhood, because why should there be any pressure on anybody, but a mother especially, to return to sexy, to return to thin, to return to what?
Exactly.
Why is she, as a mother now, somehow required to be this pre-pregnancy person when she has a whole human to take care of? That's a nonsense.
Absolutely.
But I think that for women who maybe want to return to training, and they are possibly very, very active, pre-pregnancy and during their pregnancy, and they want to get back into whichever sport that they're interested in because somehow miraculously they have the time, then for them, they need to be checking in with themselves and with their body and what they feel like. And then we spoke about last time when we were saying, if you want to start training during your pregnancy, you're not going to start as a bodybuilder.
No.
You're going to start as a newbie. And the same thing, if you've just given birth and you've spent your time and you've recovered, you feel like you're ready to go, you're obviously going to start where you are.
Exactly. I mean, as a trainer, I've trained several women postpartum.
Yeah.
And everybody's starting point is different.
Yeah.
Some might be cleared and feeling ready to train 3 months postpartum. Some people feel first after 6 months to a year, and that is totally fine.
Yeah.
Of course, there are considerations, for example, like their pelvic health. Of course, you have your diastasis recti. Yeah. Like, how is that doing?
Yeah.
And yet there's still so many myths about those things. Some you should never lift weights when you have pelvic issues. Actually, on the contrary, you need to start learning to strengthen those muscles that have been stretched and weakened.
To control them again, yeah.
Yeah. Or I've heard people say, don't train when you're breastfeeding. It's unhealthy for you and for the child. I don't know. It's like a myth out there. Okay. And that is not true. Obviously, as a personal trainer, when a mother comes to me, no matter how long it's been since she's had her baby, you always start with a fitness assessment. You meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Whether they had prior experience or not doesn't really matter at this point because your body's been through a huge trauma.
It's all new.
Yeah. And one of the biggest comments that I've gotten from these moms is, I don't feel the same connection to my body right now than I did before I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because your body has undergone this miraculous thing. I mean,
it's an enormous thing. It's an enormous thing. You have created an entirely new human being.
Exactly.
Also, you have only just recently met that entirely new human being, and you're still getting to know each other.
You're still getting to know each other. You're not sleeping.
You're not sleeping, no.
You know, your entire reality has been turned upside down. And, you know, your hormones are most likely still working to getting
kind
back.
of figuring their way.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the biggest thing really is that you are an entirely new person. Your identity has changed. If this is your first baby, you went from being a mother or a woman to being a pregnant woman to now being a mother.
Yes.
And your body has also gone through that journey with you. So you should definitely kind of take the time to get back in touch with this new version of you.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Like,
I would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have this obsession with going back to an older version of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about this before when we were talking about weight issues and kind of body dysmorphology. And exactly that. Like, we have this idea that if we were just the size we were in high school, we would be happy. So, for whatever reason, we have this belief.
Yeah.
And there, I think, maybe here too, you have this, if I can just get back to that size, that shape, that body, then I will have the same value. I will get back in touch with the person that I was before.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe fully embracing this person that you are becoming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And thank God for moms.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here without them.
Exactly.
Right.
So so that whole feeling of being disconnected to the body, I get that comment a lot from clients. And so we work a lot with mind to muscle connection. Like, so where are you feeling it now? Especially in areas, you know, around their core.
Yeah.
Them learning to brace their core, right? There could be concerns, like, for example, leakage.
Yes.
When they train.
Yeah.
Urinary leakage. As well as if they're breastfeeding still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So obviously I would never start them on HIIT or
No.
plyometrics off the bat, right?
What?
You know, I would start them with just very
Can you imagine
simple.
all of these women leaking out of various parts of their body while trying to like fling one of those weighted balls against, like,
you know, or doing jump squats or box jumps or something. No, obviously
that's just weird and kinky.
Yeah. Like, no, you want to make sure that they feel comfortable and that they're learning to brace safely, correctly, that they're breathing correctly. One thing that I do try to focus on as a trainer that I think is a good idea is strengthening, it sounds odd, but their necks, their shoulders, their arms, their backs.
Carrying their babies.
Because all of a sudden they're sitting in these weird positions while they're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Where they're half asleep, half dead, right?
Yeah.
Wee hours of the morning, carrying an infant.
Also, that baby is going to get heavier and you're still going to be carrying it.
Yeah. So I see that becoming an issue for young moms, like, or new moms, like that pain in their shoulders and their necks and stuff like that. So getting those muscles strong so that they can carry that baby.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I hadn't actually considered that of course a lot has happened to you kind of in your pelvis, but that upper body strength is something that you need to develop quite quickly because the baby is going to want to be lifted, carried, fed. And
it's positions that you're not used to.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah, you haven't been training while pregnant to kind of lie twisted.
Hey, maybe that's a new boot camp idea.
Training to feed your baby.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's something that I try to focus on. And that's something that can be done low impact.
Yeah.
You know, starting with some light weights. When I say light weights, I mean the weights that you can do with good form.
Yeah.
Not that I ask them to only do 1 kilo weights.
No, yeah.
But a weight that they feel comfortable doing, but also a weight that I can see that they can keep good form.
They can maintain good form, but there's still some challenge, right?
Exactly.
You need to be at that kind of, that edge.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're going to be absolutely fine. These moms are tough. They just birthed the human. They can lift a 5 kilo dumbbell.
For sure. For sure. I mean, they're going to be lifting their baby.
Exactly.
Of course they can. I think also maybe something to consider is if for postpartum moms is to see a pelvic physio is probably something that we will talk about a little bit in the future. But it's worth, if you are experiencing leakage and you do have some kind of dysfunction, which wouldn't be surprising, to see somebody to specifically address that and then bring those rehab exercises with them to the gym or wherever they're doing their exercise, whatever kind of exercise they choose to do, to incorporate those rehab exercises.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, because every case is different.
Yeah. You know, there are some women who will birth 2-3 kids and they are totally fine. They really do recover very quickly and they're confident in their body. They're confident that they can move the way that they want to move. But then there could be some other women, you know, same age, same size, same in all other aspects, but their birthing process is different. And they take longer to recover, and you know, maybe their kind of ability to get some sleep or their support at home is different. So you as a new mom need to be kind of advocating for yourself in the way that kind of suits you the most. And if that means that you need to sleep more, then maybe that's what you need to do for the first couple of months. And if you feel like you really want to get back on the road and you want to start running again or whatever it is, then you find the path to do that in the way that sort of suits your body and also your lifestyle. You now have a new baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Start small, just like with anything else. If you were starting your fitness journey from scratch, whether you gave birth or not, you start with 15-20 minute increments, increasing your activity, doing something you enjoy, whether it's going for a walk.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go to the gym, then start with a few minutes on the cross trainer or do some of your rehab exercises or something like that. So start small and you build from that and you make it work into your schedule with your baby.
With your family.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's really, really important because that's, of course, your priority. I think that also one of the things we spoke about before we started recording was, you know, that you will have kind of a postpartum check with your healthcare provider at around 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And that for many women, it might be a good idea to consider that is your time to then be like, okay, everything is okay at this check. Then I want to go back to exercise. Of course, if you feel great before, then. But for most women, like I think that was probably the time where you have some peace of mind, where somebody can examine you and say, hey, you're doing great. You're healing great. You know, you can go forward, or there's something that you need to address here that we need to continue with, and maybe you need to just take a few more weeks.
Yes.
Because you have a new baby, you are healing, there's a lot going on. So to have maybe that time point where you can say, okay, I'm just going to take it easy until I have this appointment, and then get that feedback and then do something. I think it can give you a little bit more confidence that you're ready to move.
Absolutely. I mean, as a trainer, I would never accept a client until she's been cleared by her physician first.
Yeah.
If she contacts me and says, I just had a baby recently, I'll be like, have you been cleared by your physician?
Yeah.
That's alpha and omega, always. You just want to make sure that all those bases are covered. You might have some smaller issues, but overall, you are ready to start exercising. Again. Yes.
Yeah. And like this is very important. It's something that you see a lot in kind of all kinds of advice about exercise, like, to verify with your doctor that you can kind of perform this. I have never gone to my doctor and been like, hey, I'd really like to start to do a new exercise program. Is that okay for me? No, like it's so weird. Like I get why the advice is given, but it's such a weird thing that a completely healthy person would go to their doctor and be like, can I lift this weight? And the doctor's like, I don't know, can you lift the weight? But in this case, this is probably a time where you absolutely should go to your doctor.
Definitely. I mean, this is a huge physical change in your body. You just did a thing. You did a huge thing.
You created a person.
You baked them and you delivered them. It's there. So yes, you should definitely, this is one of the times where you should do it. Just like after any surgery.
Any kind of major trauma.
Yeah. You would always get the okay from your doctor.
Yeah, and like I think that's something that to kind of consider. You know, when we were talking about during pregnancy, it's very difficult then to know that you really do need to check in with your body. The advice that you're getting is going to be very different depending on where you live in the world, what culture you're embedded in, what kind of doctor you're seeing. So you really do need to, do I feel good? Yes. Do I not feel good? Okay, then no. But in this case, there really is this stop-go point where you can say, okay, I have 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, and then I'll get the go ahead. And with that go ahead, then I'm going to start my running program or my, gym training or whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's so much misinformation out there. I see it all the time on social media where they'll say, if you just had a baby, you should never do these exercises, or you should do these exercises.
Or do only this exercise.
Yeah, it's all rubbish. Like, it's so individual. And even me as a trainer who's worked with many women, one exercise that feels good to one may feel sore or just off for another.
Yeah.
And you should always listen to that and communicate that to your doctor, to your physio, to your trainer,
if you're working out with a trainer,
and just tell them, like, this doesn't feel good.
No.
Then you need to find an alternative. There's always something that you can do to modify.
Yeah.
There's always another exercise to try. Even if you've done it a million times before you got pregnant, while you were pregnant, but post-pregnancy, you're like, this feels a little bit odd.
Yeah.
Then step back. There's no shame in that. Step back, try another exercise, try a modified version of that.
Yeah.
Eventually your body will heal. Eventually your body will be where you want it to be, strong and healthy again, and you'll be able to do that exercise again. But you just have to allow yourself the time.
To heal, absolutely.
Yeah.
You would take more time off for like a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you've torn something, you would take more time off, but you push an entire human out of your vagina and they're like, sure, you should bounce back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. And I think like one of the things I would like for us to reiterate here and in most of our talks is check in with your body first.
Get cleared by your physician.
Definitely.
Right? There's no one size fits all, and that is totally okay.
Yeah, it is totally okay. At all stages of your life, it is totally okay that your pregnancy looked a little different from your friend's pregnancy. It is totally okay that your postpartum recovery looks a little different from the other lady at the gym.
Absolutely.
You do you, always.
Yeah, as long as you just prioritize your health, your rest.
Oh, rest.
If you have to choose between going to the gym and getting sleep, get sleep.
Yeah.
At this point, you need sleep.
Always, yeah,
The
definitely.
gym will be there when you have the time.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it, right? Your priorities must be your body, your rest, looking after your baby, and then you can train to run a marathon.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, also kind of consider that for some pregnant women, getting back to the gym is their way of maybe feeling like themselves for a little while because they're feeling touched out. They have kind of this tiny person connected to them all the time, and that they need to have some time to process how they're feeling.
Absolutely. I can imagine that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of like having somebody just kind of move into your house and they're like, hey, it must be great you have this person. Like, I don't know them. I don't know them. They're eating all my food.
And they're dependent on you.
They're completely dependent on me. They keep touching me. They can't go to sleep on their own. Like, it's such a lot. Yeah. So it's okay if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. That you can get help for that. You might be in your love bubble and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But you might also be
struggling
a little bit to find the love bubble.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's normal.
Yeah.
It's okay. However you're feeling is okay.
Yeah. Bouncing back should not be an extra stress to that.
Nobody should talk about bouncing back anymore.
No.
The whole idea of it is just, where does it even come from? Where does it come from? Like, who are these people who want these young mothers to bounce back? Bounce back to what? Who was the one who decided?
Yeah, who set that expectation?
Like, what on earth? I don't get it. I think we should just banish it completely from our vocabulary. I don't think anybody should ever tell a pregnant woman to bounce back.
We would like to have that canceled.
We would like to banish that.
Yes, we banish that. All right, guys, we hope you found this helpful. Thanks for listening. Please rate and review the podcast. It really helps us become more visible. Follow and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Strong Chatty Chicks. Stay strong.
Stay chatty.
Bye.
Bye.